Hey, this is your signature assignment part 2 video announcement. Instead of writing y'all a very long announcement that many of you don't read, I decided to make a video and show you what to do, how to do it, so that if you choose to sign in to the optional drop-in session on Monday, March 13th, after spring break, then you'll have a really good idea of what you need to do. So the first part of our signature assignment, do I even want to show y'all? Yes, I do. Okay, first part of the signature assignment is choose a scientific article. That is due on Sunday, right? March 5th. Okay, is Sunday March 5th? Good Lord, I am losing my mind. Yes, Sunday is March 5th, so before you start your little spring break adventures, all you need to do is click on this link, Science in the Classroom, and it's got all of these really super duper cool scientific papers that have scientific annotation. So it helps to walk you through the scientific process when reading primary scientific literature. So if we look at this one, like Charles Darwin, The Search for Beak Genes in Darwin's Finches. Okay, this is an annotated version of a paper right here. A beak-sized locust in Darwin's finches facilitated character displacement during a drought, which was published in Science. Science is a very big, high-impact journal, and we've got the authors right here. It's got the super cool learning lens on the left-hand side. Bam! You click on the glossary, and all of these terms are highlighted for you, and you have access to the definition of these terms. Super cool stuff. Look at this. If only this was a thing when I was a student. Reference and notes. You can scroll down. Oh my goodness. Phylogeny, genetics. Good Lord. That looks like scary stuff. But look, this will highlight the reference for you, and it says Brown and Wilson in 1956 argued that character displacement was a common part of geological speciation. It tells you what this particular reference contributed to this paper. Number 3 is somewhere in there. Okay, so it's a really fun tool that I would love for y'all to get familiar with. But for now, all you got to do is, if we go back, move this thing. Oh, good Lord. Okay, move that. If we go back to our signature assignment, part 1, all you have to do is scroll through that resource and pick something that interests you. In this assignment, if I do student view, bam, let's go. Student view, okay? Submit a link, so copy the link to your paper, and then submit text. So write me a little paragraph of 100 words that tells me what motivated you as my student. Tell me something about you and why you chose this paper. Cool? That's the first part. That's due on Sunday. My bad. We talked about it a little bit. I mentioned it in an announcement. We had the exam coming up. We got a lot going on, but I want to get it going so that it's not the end of the semester and we're like e-portfolio. Okay, so let's work on working through scientific literature, and we're going to be talking about nucleic acids when we get back on Wednesday, the 15th. Okay, so I'll show you some primary scientific literature that's really cool. Meselson and Stahl experiments. So you choose your paper, due Sunday. The next part of this assignment is due on the Tuesday after spring break. So you have the whole week to work on it. It's not too big of a deal. Okay, you're going to run through the paper. You're going to play with the paper. You're going to read it. And all you got to do is find the scientific method in the paper. Okay, so there's like a nice description of ePortfolio and why we're doing this signature assignment. I'm trying to make it interesting and relevant to you. Okay, so part 1, you chose your paper. You told me why you chose it. Part 2, you're going to read the paper. Okay, here's the little blurb on why we're doing this and what's going on. Here's what you're going to look for in the paper, the scientific method. Here are your instructions. Your instructions say, read through your article of choice carefully, use the annotations in the website, in the Learning Lens, to help you understand what the researchers did to follow the scientific method. Use the Learning Lens tool, click on the glossary, do all that cool stuff. And then what you're going to submit is step 3. Compose an outline that explains the scientific method. And guess what I did? I made you one. It's right here. Click on this document and it will show you something. The scientific method in practice. Okay? You can download this and just edit it. Okay, I did the honeybee study that we did in chapter 2. Okay, so don't do that one because we already did it together. Unless you really, 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 really want to. But don't, because then you're going to get points off for just copy pasting my stuff. So don't do that. Pick an article of your choice. No, you may not pick this article. I've made up my mind. Title of my paper is right here. Okay. Authors, Geraldine Wright et al. Et al. Means and also and others. Publication date, journal or publication is issue name right there, science. Okay? And I put that in there for you. You can delete this picture if you so choose. Okay? And this is your outline. So the observation is in there. Okay, the authors in this paper describe how plants have defense mechanisms that protect them against herbivores. Caffeine and nicotine are produced by plants and humans consume them. Caffeine is present in floral nectar, but its role in the ecology of plants is not well understood. So that's the observation. They observed. It doesn't mean that they went out in nature, right? Like back in the day when Darwin went to the Galapagos Islands. Okay, it means that they observe the literature, they're thinking about these things, and they make an observation. Real life modern science happening. The hypothesis is step 2. Find the hypothesis. Tell me what their hypothesis was. If you need to copy paste their hypothesis, you put it in quotes. Okay, this is their hypothesis. This is a direct quote from the paper. Please try and elaborate. For example, I gave you an example, me, super quick, doing a crappy job on this assignment. Okay, design and conduct experiments. The researchers did this. This is what they did in their experiments. Okay, and then they gathered data. Okay, there's a helpful tool in each figure. Okay, all you gotta do for number 4 and number 5 is a few brief sentences on what the data showed. Because the next part of this assignment is going to be analyzing the data. You're going to pull up the figures and blah, blah, blah. Okay? So you may briefly describe in a few sentences that they measured this and this is what they found. Right? And it correlates with each of these items that they tested, right? They trained honeybees, and there's a figure that shows you how they trained the honeybees. They used different concentrations of caffeine. There's a figure that shows you different concentrations of caffeine. They measured how often or for how long bees remembered which flora. There's a figure for that. There's electrical recordings from Kenyan cells, which are similar to human hippocampal cells. So you can write maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences if your article has that much data, but don't stress that too much. And then same thing with analyzing and drawing conclusions. So they drew I didn't finish this because I have to cook dinner, but a few sentences on what they concluded in the article. And what you are uploading is this outline. You are uploading this outline with the information from your article.